You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about the Indiana Fever, more specifically. Of course, Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever schedule has come out. We now know how many national games they got. Question is, what's the deal with the other 3 games? I'd love to understand that. And we got an article from Front Office Sports that covers. Front Office Sports is one of these sites where they cover the business aspect of sports, the money, revenue, yada, yada, yada. And it's a good resource. They have come out and they now have a list of all the teams thus far that has decided to move games because, well, Caitlin Clark's coming to town. All right. And I think the scheduling is very interesting. There is a little reaction on that already. But let's take a look at this right here. 6 WNBA teams that moved games versus Caitlin Clark and the Fever to larger venues. I did the Dallas Wings, and I did the Atlanta Dream, and I did the Chicago Sky. But let's just get a handle on what this looks like, okay? Atlanta Dream moved 1 game to the State Farm Arena. Chicago Sky moved 2 games to the United Center, home of the Bulls, home of the Blackhawks in Atlanta, by the way. That's the home of the Hawks. Connecticut Sun moved 1 game to TD Garden, home of the NBA Celtics. That's going to look really freaking cool on TV. I'm a Celtics fan, so that's going to look real cool. Dallas Wings have moved 1 game to American Airlines Center, home of the Mavs and the Stars. Las Vegas Aces have moved 1 game to the T-Mobile Arena, home of the NHL's Golden Knights. And the Mystics have 2 games moved to CFG Bank Arena. All right. 6 teams have all moved their home games to ones with larger capacity. So let me just look and see what I've got here on this. Aces and Mystics have both moved games against other teams to larger venues. Washington relocated a game against both Las Vegas and Chicago to Eagle Bank Arena, home of George Mason men's and women's basketball. Okay, they moved them to 10,000-seat arenas. Okay, that's not anything to write home about. Las Vegas moved 2 games against the Sky and 1 versus the Lynx to T-Mobile Arena. The Aces, Dream, Mystics, and Sun all moved game to larger arenas last year and set records for the franchise. Though Connecticut faced the LA Sparks, the bump moved games so large, according to data across the timeline. Washington averaged 6,541 fans. Atlanta, 4,743 fans. Yikes. Washington and Indiana set the single-game attendance record of 20,711 on September 19, Capital One Arena, home of the Wizards. The WNBA's average attendance last year was 9,807 fans, up 48%. They added basically over 3,000 fans a game on average. And keep in mind, that was really one person that added those 3,000 fans on average. I mean, let's call it like it is, you know. So now we've got some more information on the games and some perspective. Here we are. Indiana Fever put this out, man, just a few minutes ago. All eyes on us. 41 of our 44 games are on national television. The most television games in franchise history. The most national television games for a single team in WNBA history. How about that? All right, how about that? Just saying. The Slows are not going to like this. No, they will not. No, they will not. We want to see Sophie. That's right. I mean, somebody said that Sophie Cunningham's jersey is already sold out. Some are saying it was in limited supply to begin with. They better order a hell of a lot of them jokers. They better get a hell of a lot of her jerseys. Seriously, America's team. Yeah, guys, I mean, let's just be honest. This is exactly what they do in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. All right, this is exactly what they're going to do and they do every year with the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because they draw ratings. Scheduling conflicts are not going to like this. No, they are not. They're not. The retards are going to be ultra pissed. Hell yeah, can we please get a Madison Square Garden game? I don't want to go to Brooklyn. I want to see Caitlin Clark. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, this is very interesting indeed. Caitlin Clark effect, America's team. A lot of people are saying that. I'm sure this is because of Angel Reese. That's good. That's really good. Seriously, no, not at all. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and it is real. So let's come over here. This also just came out. This is the national broadcast schedule right here against the Sky. It's an ABC broadcast network television game. New York Liberty. It's a CBS game. These are all going to be big rated games. CBS against the Sky. ABC against the Liberty. So you're seeing the teams that move the needles that they're going to play. Well, that should draw some ratings anyway. I'm not going to say these other teams move the needles because they really don't, but they're trying to find some rivalry in this that they can latch on to. Obviously, Angel Reese. The other one, and I'll show it to you in a minute. Here's Asia Wilson right here in the Aces on 622 against on ESPN. But right down, where did I see it? There's another Sky ABC game. Right here, ABC, Dallas Wings. All right. Dejanay Carrington is somebody that's in that game. Plus, whoever Dallas ends up drafting is going to be some kind of a story. But you get the point. All the Sky games are on big networks. All the Indiana Fever versus Sky games are on big networks. The Aces game, like I said, is on ESPN. The Liberty games are on big networks, the games against the Liberty. So, and there's a lot of Ion on here, which actually, I gotta be honest, Ion put on a pretty good broadcast last year. I was shocked. I was like, I don't even know what the Ion network is. And to give you an idea, they started the season with like lower kind of ratings. And then by the end of the year, they're drawing over 1 million on their viewership too on Caitlin Clark games. I think they were breaking their own ratings records week on week. So was NBA television too, by the way, for the WNBA. So that's just something of note. How many of these games, guys, one of these games is going to hit 3 million viewers this year. All right. I don't know which one. I assume you can look at the Sky and look at the Aces, those two games, and think those are the games that could, in theory, break 3 million, maybe more than that. The All-Star game, of course, did a massive rating. What is it going to end up doing this year? So it's all going to be very interesting. But it's clear. One thing is very clear. The Indiana Fever is America's team. And boy, the haters, by the time this season is over, their heads are going to have exploded already. They're going to be so angry by the end of this WNBA season. I mean, it's going to be hilarious watching the daily meltdown. It really will. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.